Welcome back. So you've learned how much traffic you're getting. You're learning which locations that has the highest quality traffic for you. You've learned all about your best and your worst performing pages, the demographics of your target audience persona, and now you're going to learn more about your best performing marketing channels. So we're going to have a look at sources, mediums, and channels, and you're going to learn exactly what those three are and how they differ and how we use that information to improve our marketing strategy. Let's dive in. So we're going to start off by going to the left and go into reports as always. Go down to acquisition and then traffic acquisition. Now we're going to go down to where it says session default channel group. Click there and change it to sessions source/medium. Okay, so let's get started. There are three things we need to learn to understand what they are. Number one is what is a source, what is a medium, and what is a channel. So starting off, the first thing we're seeing here to the left is a source, and the source is the one provided in the column furthest to the left. The source is where your traffic is coming from. In other words, what is the source of your traffic? Where did your traffic start before they came into your website? So in this case, we can see that the highest amount of traffic, which is now labeled by the top amount of users, came from Google. So the source is Google. They started at Google and then they landed on your website. Here it is direct, and direct meaning they wrote in the website in the browser, or it might have been bookmarked and they clicked on the bookmark or something similar. And here again, we have Google, and here it's not set, it's not understood. Here we have Baidu, which is the Chinese search engine. So the source is where did they come from? Now let's look at what a medium is. A medium is how did they come to your website? What medium did they use to arrive to your website? So looking down here again at the columns, we can see that the first one came from Google through CPC. CPC stands for cost per click, in other words, advertising. So the highest amount of traffic within the last 28 days has come from doing advertising on Google. Source Google, medium advertising. The next one is a direct traffic. Again, there's nothing to look at because it's just directly to the browser or through a bookmark or something similar. And then we have the source is Google, and it came in organically, and organically meaning it was not paid for, so it appeared as a search result in Google. Going down, not set is not understood, the data isn't clear. And then we have Baidu, the Chinese search engine, and they came in organically through that search engine. So now that we understand that a source is where the traffic came from and medium is what they came through, the medium they used to arrive at your website, the question is, what is a channel? Now, a channel is a combination of the source and the medium. So for example, I could say that we should be focusing on our advertising channels. And when I say advertising channels, that means that I've been looking at the data and I can see that advertising works really good for our website. So we should do Facebook ads, maybe Twitter ads, we should do Google ads, maybe Pinterest ads, etc. So those are all grouped into what we call advertising channels. Now I could also say that we should focus on Google as a marketing channel. And when I say Google as a marketing channel, I mean that we should be doing organic SEO to rank on Google, we should be doing ads on Google, and all sorts of things we can do on Google in order to get traffic from there. So the word channel is really a collection of words, but the most common way of using it is going to be in sentences like you're going to want to focus on organic channels, meaning free traffic being used through SEO or through social medias, and paid channels, which is advertising through different forms of platforms on Google, it could be on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, email marketing channels, etc., etc. So again, channels is just a combination of a specific source and medium. Okay, now let's dive into the real goods here and understand what are the best marketing channels for us to use. And this is super important for our marketing strategy and taking ours or someone else's business to the next level of profit. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just zoom out a little, because again, what we're looking at here is going to be the highest quality traffic, like always when we're talking about profitability. So the first thing I'm gonna look at is we get the most users coming from a Google advertising. The question is, how much money is that making us? Well, in 28 days it's making us $7.8 thousand. Now this is where it gets interesting. Compare that to organic Google users. They're making 49, almost $50,000. I mean, that is a huge profitability difference in here. So what is actually going on right now is because there are so many users coming from ads, that means that Google is running ads to get those users in, but they aren't really paying off that well that organic traffic is. So right away, we can have a look at this data and say, yes, we should be focusing much more on our organic marketing when it comes to Google. So this is true for the last 28 days, and 28 days is a good span because if you're doing some sort of advertising or running specific campaigns, you want to get the most recent data. But if you're going to get the long span data and see has this always been true, we're going to go up once again, put it to the last 12 months, hit apply. So looking down, we can see that historically we're getting more organic users than we are advertising users to our website here. However, and this is really solid data, if you look at the organic users, they're not quite double compared to the advertising users, but the organic users are more than 10 times the value of the paid users. So that really makes a lot of sense when you're looking at how to use the data into improving your strategy, that here organic users are so much more worthwhile than advertising users. So focusing on organic channels so far is really working the best. Now, if we look around, we have additional information. We know that the direct audience is working really, really well. I mean, they're bringing in a ton of money here. But even more interesting, if we go down and we look at Baidu, the Chinese search engine, we can see that in a year, this is still quite a bit of users, but not a single penny has been bought in the Google store, despite almost 25,000 users. And when you look over again, and we've been looking at this multiple times, when you look at the average engagement time, this makes a lot of sense because people are coming in, they're saying, what is this? This is not what I was interested in or looking for, and they leave. So how would you best use this information? Well, since you're getting that many people from China, and we saw in languages in the demographics lecture also that a lot of Chinese speaking people are coming in here, why not use a plugin or make a dedicated part of the website in Chinese? That might be a way to really skyrocket this total revenue in here for all of the people coming from China, the Baidu search engine, because all of this organic traffic, and this is quite a lot of traffic, isn't costing a penny. It's coming from a search engine. And small changes might out of thin air start generating quite a lot of money. At least this is actionable advice that you can put to the test, get the data in and see, is it true or not? Should I focus more on this or should I let it go? So the only way to find out if it's true is to look at the data, ask the deeper questions, try it out, get new data, and then iterate from there. Keep trying new things all the time and keep reading your data. So as before, whenever you're selling anything, we are looking at the revenue. And if you are not selling anything, we are looking at the average engagement time. But we're always looking at the average engagement time too, because it shows the popularity of the pages, of the different channels, of the people from that location, etc. Well done. And as always, don't forget to go into the sources, mediums, and channels section in the guidebook, and you can get all of these different copy-paste questions to use with Analytics Intelligence. In the next lecture, you are going to learn how to compare data, and that is truly the only way to make sure that you are progressing. And when it comes to businesses and marketing strategies, progress is a must. These are areas where it's truly grow or die. So in the next lecture, we are going to make sure that we can measure actual data to see that we are getting more traffic, making more money, improving our average engagement time, etc. See you in the next lecture.